Zoey's Extraordinary Playlist is all about awesome dance and music and this lead lady named Zoey. I guess I would explain it like Zoey basically has this superpower where she can understand people's emotions because they sing and dance to her. So she gets this like little keyhole glimpse into people's lives because they express themselves through these songs throughout the episodes. Zoey's Extraordinary Playlist is a high concept series that involves lots of music and dance, all told through the idea that people's emotions, Zoey gets to understand people's emotions through song and dance. When I got the pilot script, I was, immediately taken by the fact that there's 5 to 6 dance numbers each episode, so I'm like, sweet. But I just loved that this young woman who is kind of trying to navigate her own emotions and kind of navigate herself around this world that we all live in, get this little glimpse into people's lives, and she kind of helps them through their troubles and things that they're going through, because she gets to see what they're feeling. For teen dance, basically our process is we get the script and we sit down with the showrunner, Austin, and the director, and we do what's called a dance tone meeting. So basically we kind of talk through all the dance numbers and we go like, okay, we should be feeling this. Maybe there's something special about this particular thing. It's got this many dancers in it, or it's an intimate number. We kind of just talk through like big ideas in the number. And then I go away with my team, Jeff and Jillian, and we make these numbers. So that process is very, it's different for each one. Sometimes it starts with steps. Sometimes it starts with like ideas and we just throw a bunch of ideas around. Sometimes we work with what's called a skeleton crew. Well, I'll have dancers come in and I kind of set things on their bodies, and then we shoot what's called a previs. And we share the previs with the director and showrunner EPs, and we get any sort of notes that we might have back, and then we have to teach the actors after that. So it's a very long process. We teach actors after that, and then hopefully we're ready to shoot on the day. So in the pilot, we were super lucky to have all different kinds of numbers. We have this huge opening number that has like, I can't remember what the final number is, like 60, 70 dancers or something dancing down the street. And then we also have these like very intimate, beautiful numbers between Zoey and her father. The process is funny because it kind of doesn't change. Like, it's not like it's harder with more people. Funny enough, some of the more intimate numbers, even something like Mad World from the pilot, was a really difficult number to do. And fun little fact, we did probably 10 versions of that. And we actually shot a couple different ones because we didn't know if it was gonna be more dance or less dance. And I think that the tone of dance in Zoey's is really interesting because it hasn't really been done on network television, I think, in this way, where these numbers are grounded and they're rooted in reality with real people dancing and singing. They're not performative. They're not like spread out and dance, a bunch of people in sequence doing dance moves. So, it's really an interesting challenge for my team to figure out how we can let dance live in this world without it, feeling like it's just saccharine and a bunch of dance moves. They have to really, move the story forward, and they all have narrative. And it's a challenge, man. My brain feels like it's gonna explode half the time. The very opening, the first number that we have in the pilot, Help, awesome song, by the way, we get to dance in the streets of San Francisco, and Richard Shepard, our director, made a very clear point very early on that the streets of San Francisco are also a character in this number, and so it really was fun to figure out, like, okay, how do we run up and over hills? How do we do this? How do we get these mobs of people coming from here and there? And the beginning of that number was really interesting because it was actually a one shot up until the time she gets onto the trolley, and it was hard. You had to, time the trolley coming down the way. You had to have all the dancers moving correctly. Plus, Jane had to be in the middle of it. And, it was one of those perfect kind of storms of a lot of different departments coming together to make something amazing. I think Zoey's is definitely going to be international because I think song and dance and emotion is universal. I think that people, no matter where you come from, what culture you come from, you can understand emotion. You know, I don't think that that's something that's just, you know, we're not the only people in the United States that have emotions, you know? So I think what's really cool about this show is that it's storytelling about emotion. That's really what it is. It's about people trying to overcome something or say something that they can't quite say, but they feel inside. And I think every human on this earth has felt that way at some point. I think Zoey's is all about authenticity. And, you know, I love that dance lives in a way that it's like people all ages, all shapes, all sizes, from all different backgrounds are gonna dance in the show, and they're gonna sing, and they're gonna perform, and it's a really beautiful, I guess I would call it like concoction of the way that the world works, you know? Dance just doesn't have to be on people that are one thing. You know, it can live in a lot of different ways in a lot of different bodies. I think Zoey's is really different from any other show on television because no one else is doing this. I mean, I just love, again, that it's like, I think that song and dance has not been presented in this way on television. It's been presented a lot of different ways that are equally incredible, but the fact that people just fall into song and dance and that Zoey experiences these people's emotions through song and dance is like, brilliant. Hashtag brilliant. Good job, Austin. Zoey's is a slice of real life. I like to believe that people sing and dance in their hearts all day, every day, and I think that Zoey's is a representation of that.